In this video, we're going to be going over the first paycheck for the month of December for my husband and myself. Now, this paycheck is going to look a little different because my income is going to be lower because I gave more to my 401k. My husband and I decided, and my husband actually worked more hours, so his paycheck is going to be a little higher. Now, there are a lot of new subscribers, and I thank you guys so much for joining us. So if you do not know, my name is Mo, and I'm on my financial freedom journey with my husband. We are paying off student loan debt. We paid off both of our cars. We're saving money for a house. We're saving for emergency funds. We're just trying to be financially stable to whatever that means to us. And I'm gonna be honest, we changed our mind. We changed our mind. We're kind of sort of on our FIRE journey, our financial independent retire early. But like I said, there's a lot of times we change our mind because we just have so many goals, and it's so hard to just focus on one thing at a time. And we kind of don't want to, life is complex and we want to do everything piece by piece. So that is what I'm doing here at Paper by Mo. All the printables you all see are available on paperbymo.com. Also, every Sunday on paperbymo.com, I put out a blog post. I'm talking about finances, savings, debt, everything. And usually 9 times out of 10, these are things I'm going through, things I'm participating in, things I've already done. So this most recent blog post, it is money behaviors that are holding you back. We're going into a new year. We want to have some new behaviors. So you can click the link below to check that out, or you can just go to paperbymo.com and click the blog, and then it'll list all the blog posts. Also, if you do not know, I post a new video every Tuesday. And I know what you're thinking. Is it a Tuesday or is it not? So I post a video at least every Tuesday. But because we're in the last video, or the last month of the year, the last video of the year, we're in the last month of the year, I got a whole bunch of things to post. We have 2026 goals that we already posted. We got debt updates. We obviously have December budgeting, then November closeout. So it's a lot of things. So obviously this month, I'm probably going to be posting way more videos than just one video a week. But traditionally, that is what I do. So this is a bi-weekly check. Now, this is our second to last paycheck. So the next paycheck will be my husband's and I's last paycheck for 2025. Isn't that freaking crazy? I don't know, has it gone by fast or has it gone by slow? I don't know. But here we are, second to last paycheck of the year. Now, if you're interested in joining the community, okay, where we're talking about finances, sinking funds, paying off debt, emergency funds, checks, lack of checks, government shutdown checks, and everything numbers, go ahead and join this community by clicking that subscribe button, and make sure you stay tuned. Although we've come to the end of the road, girl. Yes. Okay, I'm sorry. I had to do it just because, wow, we're literally about to be at the end of the month, which is the end of the year. And look at this. This is 2025 in a book. Come on, thickums. All right. Looking like a snicker, thicker than a snicker. Isn't that what they say? Thicker than a snicker. So let's go ahead and go to our December. I can't believe the year is done. So set in stone 2026 goals. That was my goal, monthly goals for this. So month of December, set in stone 2026 goals. Yeah, I've done that. And make sure you check that video out if you haven't seen it. Finish last quarter challenge. I'm doing it. Okay. Am I struggling? Maybe. But am I doing it? Yes, I am. I'm just saying, guys, I'm doing it. Consistent and effective studying. And I said both because it's my husband and I's goal. Now, are we doing it? TBD, to be determined. I don't know. It's just a lot of stuff going on with holiday season when it comes to work. A lot of people are off of work. So then you sometimes got to pick up the slack for those who are off. And then I will eventually be off, right? Because the last week of December goes into the new year, and then the second to last week is Christmas, and I'm taking off, y'all. I'm taking off. Okay. Now, again, these printables are available on paperbymo.com. We have a 2026 bundle that's available. Make sure you all go check that out. Now, you're probably thinking, why did you take out your December monthly budget? If you don't know, I do write hard and I do write to like the side. It's just a little lean, you know, a lean back, a lean. Okay. I don't know why I am the way I am, guys. Also, if you want to talk pens, I am a Pilot girl through and through. So that's what we're going to use. We're going to use a oldie but goodie, a Pilot G2 black pen. And let's get into these numbers. Now, before I go ahead and start talking about the numbers, I have to see what date it was. Did I break the book? It's a lot of pages. It's a lot of pages. Okay, so we got paid on the 5th, and then the next one will be the 19th. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to put December 5th right up here. Just so we know the date that we got paid. And honestly, I do get the questions sometimes on my Instagram account. And if you guys if you're not over there, make sure you go to Instagram, follow me. But I do get the question on my Instagram, like, why does it even matter about the dates? For me, I don't know about you, but for me, the way my bills are set up, they are due on a specific date. So I need to know what the date is, how much we need, you know what I mean, to pay the bill that's going to come up or that's already passed, you know, things like that. I don't know. I'm just saying. That's why I prefer to have dates. I want to know the date and listen, I track my money. So yes, you're like, girl, I know when my money gets in, but I just need to see it. I got to see it. I got to see it, darling. Okay. So my husband and I do a zero-based budget. Okay. So that basically means that every dollar has a job. And at the end of the budget, you need to see $0 left over. Now, that doesn't mean we have $0 in our account. It just means that every dollar got something to do. Okay. Every dollar is a worker bee. Okay. Now, let's start off. So we're sitting here with starting, and starting is basically what do we already have in our account? Now, I'm going to put 0. You know, newsflash, spoiler alert, I'm putting 0. But that doesn't mean we have $0 in our account. It just means that $0, we're not accounting for 0. We're not accounting for any money. So we're not going to add any money to all the paychecks that we're already getting. I hope that makes some type of sense. Okay, so we're budgeting here 0. Also, there's a budget column and an actual column. The actual column is what we use when we close out the budget. Okay, because I really do have to close out, my husband and I have to close out our November budget because November's over and we actually finally got our first paycheck for December. We do like to wait until we get our paycheck for the next month because you never know when you need a little money, okay? Life be funny, but you can always count on that money. Okay, I don't know. Am I a rapper or am I a poet? Okay, so we're starting off with $0. Now, my husband is O, so we're going to put his full time, and then I am Mo, and we're going to do my full time. Now, my husband gets paid hourly. He does not get paid salary, so his numbers do change. So if he works more hours, obviously his paycheck is going to be higher. If he works less hours, obviously his paycheck is going to be a little lower. So usually my husband makes around $1,600 or $1,700 every 2 weeks. However, on this holiday season, because this is probably like around Thanksgiving, he ended up bringing $1,979.54. You're like, Thanksgiving? You know, these are probably the hours accrued through Thanksgiving. So that's $1,900. Can you guys see that? $79.54. Okay. Now for me, I am salary. I usually get paid a little over $3,000. However, my husband and I agreed that we were both going to be contributing 10% to our 401ks. What does that mean? One, my husband has always been contributing the 10%, not me. I've only been doing 5%. So I upped my contributions to 10%. So that means my paycheck is going to be less. That's one reason why my paycheck is a little lower. Let's talk about the second reason why my paycheck is going to be lower. Recently, there was a government shutdown. I was not getting paid. We did get back pay. So, you know, we were getting our affairs in order. So you're thinking, what does this have to do with anything? Well, when we got back pay, they did not take out all of our health care and all of our dental insurance. I know you're thinking, why are they playing in our face? That's what I'm thinking. So this previous check, I ended up having to pay 2 months worth of health care. Okay. And then 2 months worth of dental. And there was something else that was 2 months worth. Moral of the story is my deductions were higher because they didn't take out the freaking healthcare previously. But you know what? I'm grateful to have a job. I always have to tell myself this because it gets icy dicey out here. So for my full time, the income ended up being $2,781.35. Okay, so like I said, I usually make around $3,050, $3,070, something like that. So $1,979.54, and then we're gonna plus $2,781.35, and we made $4,760.89 a total. And I'm grateful to God for that, because there's a lot of things to complain about, but there's so many things to be happy about. Also, we may or may not be having a shutdown in January. So, us previously having this shutdown in October to November, so about 6 weeks, really made me think, my husband think, my friends think, my coworkers think, like, we got to get our money together. We got to make sure we're in a situation where we're not struggling. And I'm gonna be honest, my husband and I, we weren't really struggling because we were already a month ahead. But I always think we could do better, okay? So anyways, I'm just yapping. Okay, so let's go ahead and get to our fixed expenses. So let's talk about the categories if you do not know the categories. So we have fixed expenses. These are just bills that usually do not change. Now, sometimes they're going to change because I put electricity in here. And obviously, 1 month electricity can be up and 1 month it can be down. Life. Then we have variable expenses. These are the things that's supposed to change, okay? Now, but they really don't for us. So this for us is our food, our gas money, and fun money. You're thinking, what is fun money? Fun money is simply money that we're trying to have fun with. So like my husband used his fun money for his haircut. I used my fun money for my coffee addiction. Ooh. I heard you. I felt it. I felt you judging. Calm it down, okay? We all got problems. Mine's just happen to be caffeine. Okay, I'm just saying. Then we have savings. That's obvious. That's saving and investments for us. So that'll be like Roth IRA and then any savings account. And then debt, student loans, and maybe some credit card bills because we have revolving door credit cards, but we pay it off consistently every month. All right, let's get into the numbers. Ooh, let's talk about rent. I'm going to just be chit-chatting with you guys while I'm talking about these numbers because I got things to say. The South got something to say. Anyways, okay. So my husband and I, we found a pretty decent spot, like where we're currently living. We did pretty well, right? When it comes to how much we have to pay. If you don't know, we're in the DMV area, and that is not the cheapest place to live. I'm just being honest, okay? I'm just being honest. You might not like it, but it is not the cheapest place to live. So we came here from Louisiana, not that's because where we're from, but because of our jobs. Now, we found a pretty decent place to rent, but we're coming up on a year. And so obviously when you come up on a year or the end of your lease, now you have to do a new lease agreement. Now, we were really hoping that we would be able to find a home by now, because the goal, if you don't know, the goal for my husband and I were to save $50,000 and invest in a home. Now, that's still the goal, but we don't know if we're going to do it right now, in the sense that we have to resign or choose not to resign for our apartment. Now, with that being said, our apartment, because I was thinking like, oh, we just should choose somewhere else, it's not bad, but we have our issues, but it's not horrible because we've had worse issues. I gotta be honest, right? But my apartment came back and they're not upping our rent. If anything, they're lowering by $10. So that makes me go, huh? Like, God, is that you? Should we stay? Should we not? I have some questions. But we're deciding that we're probably going to go ahead and stay. It helps us move forward with our goal of keeping our bills and expenses $3,500 and below. We definitely can do that due to this little deduction, and any deduction is great. But I did get a question on my 2026 goal video saying like, oh, well, if you're not going to buy a house, just take the $50,000 you saved and put it towards your student loan debt. Listen, I love the way y'all think. Y'all are ambitious and you're thinking money, okay? Because I think money too. We think money together. But let me tell you why we're not going to do that. We're not going to take the $50,000 that we have saved for a house and put it towards our student loan debt, because we're trying to do multiple things at the same time. I know you're like, girl, it's too much. I hear you, but life is too much, right? Life is nuanced. There's house goals, there's savings goals, there's debt, there's death. There's just like so many things all at once. And we don't want to be in a position where, all right, we go ahead and we pay off our student loan debt, which sucks. And then we pay some student loan, the $50,000, which right now we're not 50 together combined. We're in the 60s, right? Which is really good because we were at the 200s previously. So we don't want to be in a situation where we go ahead and we use that money, we pay off our student loan debt, and then we say, wow, this is a home that we think we want to purchase, and we don't have the money to do it because we spent and sent all our money to what? Freaking student loan debt. That's just a choice that my husband and I are choosing to not make, okay? So first of all, this is personal finance. It's personal, but yes, I'm sharing it and I'm explaining because I really do not mind. But I'm saying it's personal finance because that's our personal choice to not take that money and put it towards our student loan debt. Also, we save that $50,000 a couple ways, not just saving money. Like, oh, you just got to save your money every day and not spend it and don't buy coffee. Boo. Okay, I'm going to get my coffee. 1 and 2, yeah, we're going to save, but we're going to try to do everything. But we really was able to save that money for a couple other reasons. One, my husband was laid off in 2024. He had a severance package. We were able to save over about $10,000 that went to our house account. Then also I got a moving expense from moving halfway across the country to the DMV area. And that was allowed us to put another $10,000 towards our house. So right there alone, two events that does not happen often, getting laid off and having a severance and moving across the country, right? We were able to accumulate $20,000. We're not touching that. I'm just being honest, but we are going to actively put money towards our student loan debt. So anyways, now that we got that out the way, let's go over these bills. So now that we know that we are going to resign, that's something we've discussed and we're just going to go ahead and do it. Okay. So $825 is our rent. Cause if you times it by 2, that is $1,650. You're like, girl, why are you timesing it by 2? That's because we get paid usually twice a month, every 2 weeks. So, $825, that usually covers our rent, and that it goes over a little bit, but that goes into our bill account and we have a safety net there, which is why we were able to be a month ahead and then some. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, so we got $825 plus $52.50. That's the water sewage that comes out with our rent. Then our electricity was lower, thank you God, so that plus $167.80 because BGE does play with us. Okay, we don't like it, but we do it. $167.80, and then we're gonna do plus $50 for our internet, which I'm told it's gonna go up. We have to do some discussions about that. $70 for our gym membership. That's for my husband and myself. Then we have $185.85 for both my husband and myself, our car insurance. And then we have plus $182. That is the phone bill. This is my mom's phone bill with AT&T. My husband, myself, and my mom is on it. So I just have it automated where $182 comes out of our bill account and it goes to my mom. So that's $182. Then $108.04. That's our life insurance. We have 4 policies. My husband has 2. I have 2, whole life and term life. $108.04. And then plus $197. These are my student loan bill, okay? And then my husband's student loan bill is $250, and then $26 for subscriptions. Now let's talk about the subscriptions, darling. Okay, so when it comes to subscriptions, you're probably like, how the heck do you have $26? So really, it's our Apple Music, and there's a family account, and there's several of us on there. Me, my husband, my mom, my aunt, whatever, right? Then we have Apple storage. My husband has some Apple storage. I have some Apple storage. I don't know, Apple would be scammy, but whatever, we pay them. Then recently we did just sign up for the Hulu Black Friday deal. Again, previously we were doing 99 cents a month, but this Hulu Black Friday deal is $4.99 because it has Hulu with commercials and it has Disney Plus. Now you're probably thinking, why did you even do it? We did it because my mom pays for the Netflix. My grandma pays for Amazon. Like, we're all sharing family wise, and I had to keep up on my side of the deal. Does that make sense? So I wasn't providing anything, but we can't do that. So that is why we got the Hulu/Disney Plus. I don't watch Disney, but Hulu we're watching, and that's where we are in life. Okay, now writing down our total for bills, we have $2,114.19. Then we're going to take this, we're going to subtract. It's going to say negative. It's not negative. Y'all know it's not negative. So we're going to subtract $4,760.89. So now we have $2,646. Let's write it down. Remaining $2,646.70. So now we're going to take this. We're going to go over to our variable expenses. Okay. And then we're going to write out our categories, which are food, my husband's gas for his car, my gas for my car. What else? Oh, and then fun. Fun money for my husband and fun money for me. What I've learned during the shutdown was, although you may or may not choose to allocate money for fun, it doesn't mean it's not being spent. Okay. So you might as well allocate a little bit of money, get that, scratch that itch. Isn't that what they say? I don't know. Anyways, just get it over with. So we prefer to just go ahead and budget it out because we're still going to spend. You might want a sweet treat, which is coffee for me. My husband hates when I say that, but it is what it is. Or maybe you want a snack at work. You want some chips, or you want wine one day. You just got to budget it because it happens. Life happens. Okay, so $250 is what we do bi-weekly for my husband and myself for food. So for gas, we do $35 now. We don't always spend just exactly the 35. It might be 30, 31, or 32. But if we have any money left over, we usually swipe that. I'm just being honest. I'm just saying, we're going to be like, you know what? I got a couple of dollars. Let me go get some chips. So our fun money, we allocate $50 per paycheck per person. Again, this will cover like my husband wants his haircut. Some occasionally, which is rare, I would get my nails done. Things like that. So let's do some math. Make sure you can see that. Okay, so $250 plus 35 plus 35 plus 50 plus 50. That is $420 in our variable expenses. And really fast, that means that our variable expenses are not variable. Our expenses totally for this first paycheck is $420 plus $2,114.19. It's $2,534.19. That's how much our total total expenses are. Okay, so we have $2,646.70 left over, $2,646.70. And then we're going to subtract that for 20. So now we're going to have $2,226.70. Okay, $2,226.70. So we're going to take this, which first of all, we are very much so grateful for, because this means our four walls are covered. Our car, our apartment, electricity, internet, everything we need, eating, gas, we include car in four walls. Just saying. Everything is covered, and we still have over $2,000 left over. Even with my check being lower, thank you God, and my husband for his check being higher. But even when money is different and it's not always consistent, we still have $2,226.70 left over to put toward our savings and or debt. Now let's get into that. Now, when we budget out for the month of December, my husband and I, we were like, yeah, we're going to do the $2,000 for the house, IRAs, sinking fund, cash, family fund, and student loan debt. Here's what we changed our mind to. This is what I say. We change our mind all the time, guys. We change our mind all the time. But I'm going to talk you guys through it and explain our process and why we do the things that we do, okay? Because it might make sense to us, but you might be like, girl, y'all are crazy. And honestly, it's just not that far-fetched. Okay, so we were going to do $2,000 towards our house fund. So that would be in a house, $1,000 per check, right? Because 2 checks, $1,000 per check, $2,000 a month, right? But we're almost at 50,000, and you're like, almost. Our, what is it called? Our house fund is in a high yield savings account. It's in 2. They're separate. One is $10,000 it has in it. Other one is $39,000. Now, it's a little, about $100 away from $50,000, but they accrue interest. Thank you, God, right? They accrue interest, and it'll accrue over $130 in interest. So my husband and I decided, you know what? We're not going to put it towards our house account because we will be at $50,000 by the end of 2025. And so we've decided to just give that money to our student loan debt. I know what you're thinking. Actually, I don't know what you're thinking. Just tell me in the comments below. Okay. So we're giving our house $0. We're still going to reach our goal. We're just doing it a little different. So we're going to give each other $250 for our IRAs because remember, going back to the monthly, our goal is $500 a month. So if we do $250, the next check we'll do $250. Okay, and then we have sinking funds. It is holiday season. We will be traveling for the holidays, so that's going to be $250. We already have money in our sinking fund account, a couple thousand. If we got to touch it, we will. We obviously are buying people gifts, which costs money. We're not trying to break the bank. So I have a flight out of town. We're going to get my husband's next, but my flight I use with points for Delta for my American Express. So one flight is free, and I'm grateful to God for that. Well, not really, because Delta makes you spend $12 regardless, but it's a scheme that Todd set up. Anyways, okay, so then we have our cash family fund, and if you don't know what that is, that's literally us planning for family together. You're thinking, girl, y'all married. What do you mean planning for family? When it comes to our savings accounts, we try to make sure they all have a job. So obviously our house savings account is for our house. Emergency funds are for emergencies. Other than that, we have sinking funds. So within our sinking funds, there's like car, there's donations, there's clothes, things like that. But we're trying to be specific. So we have a cash family fund. So if we want to get a fur baby or a real baby or whatever it is, it will be for the family, and that money is already specific. So that's what we do it in cash. That's why it's called Cash Family Fund. Here it is in there. And we're going to go ahead and give that $200. So let's add up our savings and see where we are. Okay, so we have $250, 1, 2, 3. So we're going to times that by 3. That is $750. And then we're going to plus $200. That is $950 when it comes to our savings. Okay, so now we have $2,226.70 left. We're going to subtract 226.70. It's going to say negative, but you know and I know that it is not. Or did I even do that right? I don't know. Okay, so let's see. Let's just do it the right way. $2,226.70. And let's subtract 950. Okay, we have $1,276.70. All right, $1,276.70. Now, the last thing we're doing is our student loan debt. I try to explain it every time. My husband has less student loan than I do. I have more than him. Collectively, first of all, his debt's my debt, my debt's his debt. That's how we see it. Boom, whatever, right? But my student loan debt accrues more interest, and it's only smart for us, for what we choose to do, to put more money towards my student loan debt because it accrues more interest. And if the debt balance gets higher, obviously we're losing money. So usually you'll see me putting down more money towards my loan debt than his. But I was talking my husband through it, and I was just like, well, for this first paycheck, let's just split the money even. Then the second paycheck, that last student loan payment of the year, we'll go ahead and give mine a little bit more. So we got $1,276.70. Divide that baby by 2, $638.35. I don't know. I can't help it. I always, I gotta put a little accent. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, guys. Okay, so we're gonna put $638.35 and $638.35. And then that balance is going to be $1,276.70. And then the remaining is $0. This is why I said it's a zero-based budget, because the remaining at the bottom should always be $0. Sometimes we'll have a little left over, and that'll be just like a buffer. Buffers are safe. Buffers are good, but you can always budget a buffer. Okay. Now, we do like to do cash, and that's what we're going to put down here. cash. So we prefer to do cash when it comes to our food. And we also prefer to do cash when it comes to our fun money. We do not do cash with our gas because we have Costco. They don't take cash for gas. You can get a gas card, a gift card. I found that out. And some of you guys told me, and I appreciate you all for that. But that is usually what it is. Now, we have already spent some, not the whole $250, but some of the money when it comes to food, swiping our card because it snowed in the DMV area and we're from the South, so we're not used to that. And I was like, you know what? We got to get some food in case we're snowed in. Now, let me tell you, it wasn't even an inch of snow. It doesn't matter, okay? It does not matter. It happened and we lived through it. So we are not going to cash stuff in this video. I usually prefer to do it in short form content. So like in a short reel, whatever it's called. So you'll probably be seeing that. But this is the money that we're going to take out. We're going to take out 50 for my husband's fun money, 50 for my fun money, 250. Well, not 250 because we spent about 120 something for food. So the remaining of the food, and then we'll take out 200 for our cash family fund, and we will put it in here, okay? And then we'll discuss, all of this. Also, like I said, there's so many videos that I have to put out before we end 2026. I mean, we got to close out November, close out the student loan debt for November. We have the 2026 goals. We got the 2026 budget planner set up. There's so many things. I'm super duper excited because it's a new year. And if you don't know, and if you couldn't tell, right? I do enjoy planning. I really do. And I pray that the planning is good enough for me to stick to it. But I hope you all enjoyed this video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.